Hey, I'm playing I've Got You Under My Skin by Frank Sinatra, an original Jersey boy. I'm playing it straight from the charts of the Morristown Uke Jam, so take the link in the video description, download the free ukulele song sheet, and you can play along with me. And if you'll be anywhere near Morristown, New Jersey, come out and play with us. After the song, I'll do a basic tutorial together with a slow motion close-up play along you might find helpful. And there are two versions of this song. The second page is the same key. You could play along with me on that simpler version. I'm going to play the more complex version. The simpler version is much simpler and also sounds very cool. And I'll be going over that in the tutorial as well. All right, here goes. I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin. I tried so not to give in. I said to myself, this affair never will go so well. But why should I try to resist when, baby, I know so well I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time that I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. I would sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats how it yells in my ear. Don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Why not use your mentality? Step up, wake up to reality. But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. Yes, I've got you under my skin. Ah, yeah, sweet song. And limitless jazz possibilities. If you got a partner who's gonna solo with you, or a harmonica, kazoo, hey, singer, awesome. Okay, what did I do? Remember I said there are two versions. I'm gonna go over the more complex one first, at least in certain ways, and then I'm gonna go over the, now you know what, more of you are gonna be interested in the less complex. I'm gonna go over the less complex one first, the one I didn't play. Let me show you first. I'm just gonna show you the briefest part, and then I'm gonna tell you the key portion that makes it so easy. All right, first of all, the strum. I will do the same strum each time, but in the simpler version, I'm just going to do D, A7 suspended, meaning you just pick these fingers up, and A7, meaning you just slide this one down. That's it. So what do I do? Down, 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 down. Oh, I'm going to stay on the D. Down, 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 up, up, down, 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 up, up, down. Now you can see the emphasis here and here and here and here and here, here and here and here and here and here. That's the emphasis. Again, I'll be doing a slow motion play along at the end. You can practice that strum if you want to, or you can do a simpler one if you like. Now, I'm just going to play through one verse and the start of the bridge in these chords, and I'm going to do it a little faster so that you can see quicker. But I'm going to focus on this. I want you to pay attention to my middle finger. Here goes. I've got you under my skin. I've got you, oops, sorry, got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin. I'm gonna go right to the bridge. I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats in my ear. Don't you know that is the first time I moved this finger more than one fret. I never picked it up off the fretboard, and I never had to move it more than one fret. Clear till that chord, and that is, in fact, the only chord in the entire song where my middle finger is not on the C string. This is G, C, E, A, right? Your third string, counting from the floor, 1, 2, 3. Third string starts in the second fret with a D, right? A suspended, A7 suspended, just pick these up. There's your middle finger. Slide it down one fret. Okay, I'm going to go to a G6. Slide it up and drop one finger. There's my G6. A7 suspended, A7, back to a D. And G6. This is what I call an anchor finger. This is the anchor. You pay attention to that and everything else falls in place. Even the G minor. Whoops. Haha, I just played it wrong. I was just going to say G minor isn't one of the easiest chords. It's not crazy hard, but it's harder than some. And I played it wrong just then. But from a D, you keep your anchor point in, and you move your other fingers around it. You sort of twist your hand a little bit around it, right? A7, D. And now here's the bridge. G6. Sacrifice anything. Slide them down. Come what might. E diminished seventh. Sounds difficult. That's it! From here to here. Is that a hard chord transition, right? D. And you leave that in place. Don't you know, little fool? Okay, that's the first time you have to move your middle finger. And if you really wanted to, you wouldn't have to, but you would. You would do it. Okay, the only other thing I'm going to talk about in the easy version is to add drama, where it says stop, play it, and actually stop it. Like, stop it with your hand. Makes me stop before I begin. Right? That I call a stop. That I call a hang. Where you let it hang there. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. Now, what else did I do? I'm going to go over it. The next thing I'm going to do, because even if you want to play the easier version, you might want to do something during what I call the whistling verse, the instrumental verse. You might want to do what I did, playing up here. I didn't write that on the song sheet. Sorry. Why didn't I write it up? Because what I'm going to show you is so simple, and I don't want you to be limited to what I did. I'd rather you just jazz it up and play it the way you feel. If I wrote it down, I'd have to play it the same way every time. If I was reading the song sheet, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to play it jazzy. That's why I started doing that. I'm like, that works. Okay, I'm going to play it that way. If you want to just do a whistling verse, just do a straight standard verse and have somebody else solo, or just play, whistle while you do it, you can do that. The chords that are written are just the standard chords of the verse. Right? I'm going to do what I did. Whoops, sorry. Okay, the middle part there, that third line was a little harder. But I was doing bars. I was basically doing sixes. How did I get away with that? Well, the chords are related. I'm not even going to go into it any more than that. Other than, yes, that's a G6. This is actually a real bona fide G6. This is not anywhere close to an A7 suspended, but yeah, we'll just leave that. It's jazz. You can say, I meant to do that, and look cool, and people be really impressed. So I'm barring the 7th fret, barring the 10th fret, barring the 9th fret. That is the first, second, and third, first, second, and fourth lines. I'll show you the third in a minute, but first let me show you what you can do with those. So I'm using 3 different fingers here, right? Because they just happen to be right there, and all 3 of them are strong fingers, right? So you can just do it like that, but watch what else you can do to make it sound cool. You can just play because it's jazz. You can do that. And all I did was bar. Now what did I do on the third line? First, I'm gonna play 2 lines in, and then the third line I'll show you what I did. So here's what I did. This is a C minor. I know, it doesn't look like a C minor, does it? I think it's a C minor. Is that a C minor? Okay, maybe it's not a C minor. I'm not sure what it is. I'm still barring this, although the only thing you really need is that, but it's just easy to leave that finger there. And then what do I do with the ring finger? Instead of covering the entire fret, I leave the G string open. And yes, I'm playing with a low G, so it sounds a little different than a high G, but it still sounds very cool and very good, very jazzy with the high G. So I'm leaving this open. That's a minor chord. And then I'm going straight across, and then back to 3, leaving the G open. That's all I did. On the third line, and then the fourth is back, just to bars. And then, by the way, you're dropping down to a G6, which is a pretty easy 2 strong fingers just landing there. You don't need much time to reach back on that. So, on the last line, I would sacrifice anything, come what might, because this is actually an easy chord to switch, to run down the neck and land on. So that's it. Now, what did I do with the harder version? Before I do that slow motion play along, I better show what I actually played. All right, it is considerably harder, but I think it sounds cooler. So if you want the extra panache, you got to work for it. All right, the intro, not every chord, half the chords in the song I played differently in the harder version. The intro, all 3 of them I played differently. Instead of a straight D, I played a D major 7th, which is that. Now I'm going to play it here. And then here's an A7 suspended, but I put my pinky way up on the 5th fret. That is also still an A7 suspended. In fact, see, I'm saying it's an octave higher. It's in the chord, right? It's still there. And I bring, see, so instead of just bringing one finger down, I bring both fingers down. And then, and it's true, you don't have that anger finger thing with this version at all. Oh well, deal with it if you want to play it. Here goes. D major 7. A7 suspended, the high version. A7, D major 7th. And I'm going into the verse now. G6, same way. I've got you under my skin. That's how it goes. I've got you. Here's your anchor, really. The index finger is your anchor on this one. Because, I mean, you could do it here, but that's an awful lot more That's more difficult, especially if you're going to do the D major 7. If you're doing the D major 7, it's natural to do G6 this way. Index finger, two strongest fingers, right? And then here's your anchor. And you drop your pinky up. Deep in the heart of me. Then you have to pick it up for that. So deep in my heart. Okay, A6, that is not an easy chord here. It's got, you know, 2 fingers stuck in there. But if you're ready for the D major 7th anyway, you get the A6, that you're really a part of me. All you have to do is pick up your ring finger there, and you've got it. I've got you under my skin. I'm going to go right to the bridge. I'd sacrifice anything, come what might. That's just as easy as in the other one. For the sake, D, of having you near, to a D major 7th. And that's half of the bridge. In spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats in my ear. And now, all I have to do is pick up my ring finger and I got my D6. Don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time that I do, now here's G minor 6th. I don't have any way around it. You just gotta jump with your fingers, hop over. Neither of them are difficult chords. But each time that I do, just the thought of you makes me stop. Actually, I should do that with my index finger. Before I begin. In the easier version, this is a B7th. In this version, it's a C diminished 7th, which is a B7th with a ring finger dropped. Makes me stop before I begin, 'cause I've got you under my skin. Oh, last chord. If you have 14 frets, you might as well use it, because that's a D6. It's also down here. That's a D6, but if you can go all the way up to the 14th fret because your ukulele happens to go that high. Whoops, sorry. Screwed it up. If you have a soprano uke, you're not going to do this. But, all right. Okay, now I'm going to play a slow motion close-up play along. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I already basically did a slow motion close-up play along with my... Now I'm going to do 2 slow motion close-up play alongs. First one I'm going to do is the easy version. And I'm only going to play intro, verse 1, bridge. That's it. And then the second, I'm going to do intro, verse 1, bridge. Or, the first one I'll do intro, verse 1, bridge, and the whistling verse. And then I'll do the same thing with the more complex version. So stick around for that if you want. If you don't, then stick around. But if you like the video, please like the video. You want lots more, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free, of course. You want lots more free downloadable ukulele song sheets, check out our meetup page and our Dropbox. And then come play with us. Now here goes. Close up on my left hand in slow motion or slightly slower. It's already a slow enough song, but here goes. 1, 2, 3, and this is the simpler version here. I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me, so deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. I got you under my skin. I'm going right to the bridge now. I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time that I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you Here goes. Okay, more complex version, here goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me, so deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin. To the bridge. I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time that I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. Last chord, 14th fret. Yeah, see you Wednesday, bye.